Did everyone get a window on their screen that says this lecture is being recorded, you consent, whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, awesome. All right, Jose Garcia says for the future. For the future, will we have to use the compiler that the teachers told us to get, or will we continue using the website? What compiler did the?
Yeah, he had it's called Code Blocks.
Code block.
Code blocks.
I'm assuming we're going to use that for the homework hill assignments.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I do know. Well, I believe Code Blocks is free, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if Professor Amir tells you to get it, then you should get it. But as for in terms of submitting these labs, it's recommended that you use the IDE that ZyBooks has, which is called ZyDE. But I do know that for the labs, you have the option of getting a CPP file from an IDE of your own choice. I just don't know how to do it. We could try to look at it later if we have it's for practice, so we can get comfortable using a compiler. Okay. Well,
it's what he uses, so I assume that's what he wants us to use, so we're all using the same thing.
Okay. Well, so okay, that's fine. But for the labs, you should be using the ZyBooks thing. But you know, and this is my personal preference. My IDE of choice is Visual Studio.
I used that for a class.
You use that? You use that for the
I had to take the Visual Basics.
Oh yeah, I remember Visual Basic. That was a fun time. Okay, so let me just close this. Okay, so we've officially started. So I'm going to make some announcements. So first of all of the technical difficulties that happened last Tuesday, I got it sorted out. It will not happen again. So so there's that. Everything will run smoothly now. And second, I guess I'm gonna start with introducing myself, because I guess I didn't really do that last Tuesday. So my name is Lawrence Orihuela. I am a computer science master's student here at CSUSB. I also work as an instructor for the school, and I'm currently teaching the lab portion of this class. Okay, so if you need to get a hold of me in case you have any questions in regards to the ZyBooks, my email is, I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's 005-823-892 at coyote.csusb.edu. Okay. And you can get a hold of me that way. I will, after this meeting is over, I'm also going to put my email and the Zoom link and a couple other things on the Blackboard later, so that it'll be more helpful. But anyways, we can proceed with the lab now. So I've taken the time to really look at this, and when I was the CSE department stated that every instructor that's teaching this course, because classes are online right now, they decided to embrace the whole online class paradigm, and we decided to integrate ZyBooks into every CSE 2010 course, which is super user friendly when it comes to online courses. I've taken I've gone to I've done a Zoom meeting with one of the creators of ZyBooks, Miss Lori Burns, and she stepped me through everything. Everything looks great, actually. Everything looks super easy. I can all these sections here teach you the course material, and at the end of each section there's a series of labs, and I can pick and choose which ones I want to assign to you. So anyways, but after looking at this for a while, I've decided that I've decided on a proper, like a good way of teaching this course. So because we meet Tuesdays and Thursdays, I figured we could use the Tuesday meetings to do each of these sections together, and whatever sections that we don't complete, we'll do on our own. And then when we meet again on Thursday, I will unhide which labs that I feel are appropriate to do with the course material. Now, each chapter has a long list of labs. That's fine. I'm not supposed to show all the labs anyways. I'm just supposed to pick and choose which ones I like and then show it to you. Okay, so on Thursday, I'll decide which labs we're gonna do. And then the labs, along with the activities from the sections, will be due next Tuesday. Okay, so all of the participation activities from the sections, all the challenge activities from the sections, as well as the labs that I unhide from you guys, they will all be due next Tuesday. I think that's a good way of going about this course, right? Okay. So does anyone have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So we can move forward then. So last Tuesday, I asked you to get from 1.1 to 1.10 on your own time. Is there any before we move on to the labs, I should ask, is there any questions on any of the participation activities in these sections that anyone was struggling on? We could take time to look at that. So everyone's fine. So no one has any questions? So I hope that means the majority of students did the activities in 1 through 10 without any problems. I haven't finished it. I'm on 1.5. Well, that's fine. Okay. Again, this is due Tuesday, so you got plenty of time. You got the weekend too. And they're all very easy. Like I felt they were easy. Do you guys feel they were easy? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it has been too.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm even looking at one of the ones I skipped, and it is just easy.
Okay.
I just haven't done it yet.
Okay. And remember, if there's any questions, like let's say you were looking at a particular participation activity for a very long time and you guessed the answer like 20 different times and it's still wrong, you can email me. Like I put my email in the chat. I'm gonna also put my email in the Blackboard after this is over, because I've been coding C++ for well over 5 years now, so I kind of know what I'm doing. But yeah, So if no one has any questions in regards to 1 through 10, we could move on to the labs. Well, actually, before we talk about the labs, I need to point out one thing. Like, I didn't know this at the time, but apparently the training sections, they're worth points. So I guess we should do those too. Unless I guess I do have the option to hide it from you guys, but I don't know. Like, I mean, even though this is easy, these are a lot of sections. Does anyone feel like overwhelmed with this amount of work?
For
Because
the most part, it's just participation. It's only when you get to the challenge activities that you really have
yeah,
anything to do.
yeah, because the challenge activities really test like a thorough understanding of the material that you've done so far. But okay, so uh, go ahead and do 1.13 and 1.14 on your own time as well, because apparently they are worth points. This ZyBooks is kind of new to me too, so you know. And I believe I'll put 1.11 and 1.12 are just examples. They're not worth points. Yeah, they're just examples. Okay, so if everyone is very comfortable with the material now, we can move on to the lab. So I've these were the 4 labs that were part of section 1. 15, 16, 17, 18. You'll see 19 here, but I was actually playing around with the tools that ZyBooks gives to me. I decided to clone a lab and just change it around. So this is actually hidden from you guys. Don't actually do this. And if you did do it already, sorry. But anyways, oh, you did 19 earlier? Sorry about that. Sorry, Jose Garcia. But anyways, so after looking at these 4 labs, I've decided that we should take the time now to do 1.15, 1.16, and 1.17. And we can easily knock this out. In fact, there's a possibility we could finish before 750. That's how easy these are. But anyways, we can start doing them together. So we'll start with 1.15, okay? So 1.15 lab formatted output hello world. So I don't know if any of you guys know this, but writing a program called hello world is something of a tradition with us computer programmers, right? But all that we simply need to do is type some code here that allows us to output hello world, right? So so this is what my screen looks like here. Does it look any different from the student's perspective?
I think that's what it pretty much looks like. It doesn't give us obviously like the extra options you have at the bottom.
These extra
it doesn't obviously give it those, but
okay. So actually, you know what? A better way of doing this is to have one of the students share their screen, and then they will walk us through it during this lab. So would anyone like to share their screen and do their lab, and we'll all look at their screen together and we'll guide them through it?
I was gonna say I've already done it, so I guess I'm not the good option.
Okay. I guess we can just look at my screen. So you already did labs as well. Oh, did you do it, Mr. Logan Ash Bob, did you do the labs before or after I decided to show and hide which ones I wanted to choose? Because I did that like 30 minutes ago. Did them all just now? Okay, cool. But write a program that outputs hello world. I think this is like trivial here. So as you already know that in order to output text on the screen, you have to use the cout command, right? And then you put the string of the thing that you want to output. So you want to say hello world. And then as always, for all labs, end with new line unless otherwise stated. And that's why I put NL at the end. And I can go ahead and submit for grading. No. And apparently, and looking at this, I got 10 out of 10. Right. So when I asked this question last Tuesday, it seems to me like everyone is a beginner at C++. Do we understand what each of these lines of code do? Do we need to go over that? Okay, well, you understand? Okay. Well, it doesn't hurt to briefly go. Could you explain from top to bottom for people? Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm using my experience from Python, that helps. Okay, that's good. Like Python's a good language. Okay, so the teacher went over that today actually, but they can, okay. All right, so here there's 10 lines of code, right? So first off, you see this include IO stream. So when you have code like include, inside of chevrons, what this include means is that you're including different C++ libraries, and which libraries you choose is completely dependent on what kind of program you're writing. So the IOStream library gives us access to the cin command and the cout command. Okay. Now, there's a bunch of other libraries too, like if you needed to use some complex math operations, like say factorial or square roots, you're gonna have to include the CMath library in order to access certain functions. And then if you were, and this is a long way down the line, but at some point you're going to be learning about vectors, right? If you need to use a vector, you're going to have to include the vector library by saying include vector, like that. But I'm not gonna tell you all the different libraries. They're all online, but I imagine that near the end of this you'll know several libraries already. But anyways, the next line you see is using namespace standard. So the thing about C++ input output is that the proper way to do C in C out is actually std : std stands for standard, C in, and and then std out. Now I don't expect you to know this, but this double colon states that this particular function is a member of this library, the standard library, okay? But at some point in time, C++ coders, they got really tired of typing std : in front of all of their C ins and C outs. So we wrote this line of code that says using namespace standard, and it already does it for us behind the scenes. So we don't need to say std : in front of all of our C ins and C outs. That's all it means. Now, Dr. G went over that. Okay. So Logan Ashbaugh has a question. In Java, you can port all of one type of library instead of, is there a similar thing in C++? Wait, I need to think about that question for a minute. Oh, I guess, yeah, I guess in C++ we use include, but I guess in Java you use import, right? My Java is not that great, to be honest, but yeah. So, okay. Anyways, the next thing I want you to focus on is these lines of code here. So we have a function called int main, okay? So the C++ is a collection of functions, and for simple programs, there's only one function, and that's the main function. So every function has a data type, which is int, and then it has a name, and every function has to have open and close parentheses. And the definition of the function is enclosed in squiggly brackets. So the int main program is, and this is just the way we always write our int main. And you see this return 0 here. You should always have that at the end of your int main. And then as for this, this is the body of code that composes the entire int main function. And all it does is see and the hello world. This is a comment. It doesn't affect the code in any way. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything, right? We can move on to 1.16. Is everyone comfortable to move on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So for this next lab, it says 1.16, formatted output, no parking sign. It says write a program that prints a formatted no parking sign as shown below. Note that the first line has 2 leading spaces for all labs and with new line on the side I state. So this is actually very similar to the Hello World lab that we did previously. So we just need to make it output these 2 lines instead of just hello world. And I think that's very easy. Like you'll just say C out. And it says that then the first line has 2 leading spaces. So I'll put space, space. And I'll say no parking exactly the same way it says here. No. And line. And then I'll have another C out for this line here. 2, 6. And that should be it. Like there's nothing new here except for end line, which ends the line and starts a new one. So I'll submit this for grading. And it should be correct. Yep, I got 10 out of 10. So I trust nobody has any issue doing this lab, right? Okay, so now we can go on to, okay. So now we can go on to 117. Now, this lab, after looking at this, I decided that I like this lab because it's the first lab that where you gotta like really try to think about your input and output. Like it implements math, and I like that because you can do a lot of things with programming if you know math, right? Math neat. Yes, I feel the same way. So 17, input and formatted output, house real estate summary. So sites like Zillow get input about house prices from a database and provide nice summaries for readers. Write a program with 2 inputs, current price and last month's price, both integers, like that. Then output a summary of the listing the price, the change since last month, and the estimated monthly mortgage computed as the current price times 0.051 divided by 12. Output directly, do not store in the variable. Okay. So I take it during lecture, the professor already go over with you how when we do math, we do the whatever's in parentheses first, and then in other words, did he explain PEMDAS to you, order of operations? No. So you didn't go over math in no, but I think it would be called math. Okay, well, that's okay. We can do it in this lab, and I think you guys will understand. So if the input is this, so this is going to be our C in for current price, and this is going to be CR in for our last month's price. So we would say this house is, and this would be the current price, right? The change is this value since last month, and this value here would actually be current price minus last month's price, right? And then we end the line and then see out this. The estimated monthly mortgage is this number, which is computed by this formula, right? So current price times 0.051 divided by 12. Okay. So we can easily do this. So we would say C outs, and all of this will be, well, actually everything up to here will be one string, right? Because we need to get that $sign in this as part of the string. So we'll say this house is $, and then put chevrons there. And then we need to say the current price. So I'm gonna have the variable current price here, like that. And then I'm gonna pick up where I left off with this period. So in the string, I'm gonna say the change is $sign again. The difference between current price and last month's price. So I'm gonna say current price minus last month's price. Like that. And then another string since last month. Okay. So this entire line here would cover this. And then we need to simply say this now. Okay. So see out estimated monthly mortgage is. Okay. So now we need to output what this formula gives. So it's going to be current price times this number divided by 12. So inside parentheses, current price times 0.051 divided by 12. And then we're going to need another string to output this period. So chevron period, and then end line, because it always wants us to finish a lab with an end line. So this should give us the same output as this. So I'm gonna run it and submit it for grading. I believe I'll get 10 out of 10, right? Yeah, so it compares my outputs and for 4 different tests, and it gives me 10 out of 10. So, so Jose Garcia asked, are the spaces supposed to help the programmer, or is it required for the program to work? White spaces are just to make the code easier to read. It's not, white spaces don't prevent a program from working. Yeah, it's exactly what Brandon Vasquez says. It's for readability. And that's it. Does that answer your question, Jose Garcia? Okay, awesome. So, so at this point in time, we finished all the labs that I assigned to you. We did 15, 16, and 17. Now, all that's left for you guys to do now is finish the participation activities in these sections, 1 through 10. And then you should also do the Zylab training basics, 13 and 14. Because I didn't realize that these 2 sections were worth points. So I guess you should do those too. But since we have time left over, I know that I didn't assign 18 to you. Do you guys want to go over that? Or actually, maybe I should just assign it, and then we can do it together. Because
wait, where are the ZyLab training basics? Oh, 1.13.
Yeah, 13 and 14.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you guys to say to that? Do you want to do 1.18 together, because we're actually supposed to have like 15 more minutes in this meeting. You guys want to do it? Okay. So I'll go here. I'll go ahead and unhide this again. So I just made it visible to students. If you refresh your ZyBooks, will you be able to see 1.18 again?
It should.
Should. Oh, Jose Garcia, you see it? Okay. So now this lab here, it might seem a little intimidating, but it's really not. You see, so you see what we're trying to do here is make an arrow that's just like this. However, the base is going to be the base here, which is going to be I guess the stick of the arrow, is going to be comprised of 1 character. The program calls it the base character. And then the head of the arrow is going to be comprised of another character, which the program calls the head character. Okay. So It's actually really easy to output this, although I imagine that this is a lot of typing. So this is how we're going to do this, okay? So this is the program that it gives to us already. It already states the variables base character and head character. So I guess the very first thing that the program needs to do is have cins to make the first input the base character and then the second input the head character. So I'm gonna type in here. So cin, the first one's gonna be the base character. So I'm gonna see cin base car, and then cin head car, like that. That's not too hard, right? So by having this here, when it does these inputs, 0 will be assigned to base car, and then 1 will be assigned to head car. So now all that's left to do is output this arrow. So the best way to visualize this is to look at it line by line. So the first line is 5 spaces, followed by the head car. So I'm going to say cout. I'm going to have a string, right? For 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to have more chevrons because this is after the string. I need to say the variable. I'm going to say head car. Now, because head car is 1, it'll say 1, right? And then all I have to do is end the line and move on to the next. So cout. The next line is going to be 5 spaces, followed by 2 head cars. So it's actually going to be similar to this. In fact, I'm going to copy paste. And then it's going to be followed by 2 head cars. So I'm going to say head car again. So what this should do is output 5 spaces, then 1, and then end the line, right? The next line is going to be the base car 5 times, followed by the head car 3 times, right? Now, this is what I meant when I said this is going to be a lot of typing. So we're going to say cout base car base car base car. You see where this is going, right? And then 2 more times. And then followed by the head car 3 times. So I'll just say. I'm just copying and pasting because I'm lazy. And then we end the line. The next line is going to be very similar to this, except we print head car 1 more time. So we're going to do this. And then the next line is going to be similar to line 3. So because I'm lazy, I'll just copy paste the code I did for line 3. This line is going to be same as line 2. So I'll just copy this line. And then the last line is the same as line 1. So I'm just going to copy this line. But I believe that should do it, right? So yeah, all this, a lot of typing, but it's not, there's nothing here that we haven't already learned, right? So if I submit this for grading, I believe it should work. Yeah. So for the first test, we have 0 as the base car, and then 1 as the head car. So it output this arrow. And then the second test, we have 1 as the base car, 4 as the head car, and its output to this. So does this make sense to everyone? Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and copy. Oh, you need a little more time. Do you need how many labs in total? Well, I originally wanted to assign just 15, 16, and 17. But we did it so quickly, I just decided to assign 18 to you as well. And we just did that just now. So 4 labs in total, 15, 16, 17, 18. When is it due? It's due Tuesday. So skip. Slayman Toki says so skip 13, 14. Don't skip 13 and 14 because I just found out just now that they're actually worth points. Like, well, actually, I can't leave this page without. I'll do this. Okay. So let me go back. To answer your question, Mr. Toki, yeah, you do actually have to do 13 and 14 because I actually did not know that they were worth points. So go ahead and do those. Oh, can you? Yeah, Arturo Perez. Yeah, I'll go back to 1.17 in a second. I just gotta. Yeah, so the proper code should look like this. So, Mr. Perez, what kind of code did you have? Did you figure out what was wrong? Mr. Arturo Perez, do you need me to zoom in like this so you can see everything? Oh, you forgot to input the values. So in other words, you forgot to put these 2 lines, right? Okay. So you don't need this anymore? You got okay. So who still needed the 1.18? You do? Okay. Take a screenshot if you need to, but you understand how this works, right? That's the most important thing. So okay. Neil Yu says, in the future, could you use ZyBook to learn any other languages other than C++? It's actually kind of funny that you mentioned that, Mr. Neil, because when I was playing with these sections before, I noticed that I did have the option to change the language I was teaching. I'm going to try to find that option again, but I think if I went here, this is the lab that I cloned. Like I think if I click edits, yeah, I can change the programming language from C++ to C or Java or Python 2 or 3. But I believe solely for the purpose of this class, we're just going to learn C++. So to answer your question, we could use ZyBooks to learn Java or Python or C. But for the purpose of this class, we're just going to focus on C++. Does that answer your question, Neil? Yeah, okay. By yourself or only when enrolled to a class? Well, because I'm the instructor, I have the option to change it to, but I think from your perspective as a student, you would not be able to change the language that you're learning. It's gonna be strictly C++. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I know that, you know, it'd be great to learn another language. I just looked just now, it doesn't require enrollment to a class. Yeah, well, no one's stopping anyone from learning a language on their own time. Like that's there's nothing wrong with that. So does anyone have any other questions? Yeah, you're welcome. Let me scroll up on the chat to see if there's any other questions I missed. Oh, Jose Garcia asks, in the future, will you try to add your own variations of lab assignments? Yes, I actually do have the option to change, to tweak the labs or completely make new ones from scratch. And it's up to my discretion, but I'll only change the labs if I feel like some portion of it seems confusing or misworded, or if I wanted to try it some different way. And Slayman Toki asks, we have unlimited attempts for the labs. Yes, you do. You have unlimited attempts for the labs. So if I went over here, if I choose edits, well, all this is blacked out because I have to clone this in order to change it. But I have the option to check a box that says limit total number of submissions a student can take, but I'm always going to leave that unchecked. So you can submit as many times as you want until you get it right. Okay, Christopher Cruz Gutierrez says, I joined lab late, then I miss out on a lot for 15 and 16. Yeah, we actually did those already, but don't worry. This Zoom meeting is recorded. I'm going to post it on Blackboard right after this meeting's done. So does that, okay, great. So right after this meeting, not only am I going to put this recording on Blackboard, but I'm also going to put the Zoom link for the lectures, as well as my email in case you need to get a hold of me. Because in case when you're doing the participation activities on your own, if anything seems confusing, you can email me and I can help you. So I will be doing those 3 things immediately after this meeting's over. So does anyone have any more questions? Do we feel good about everything? Like there's nothing else that we need to go over? Okay. Okay, great. So if no one has, yes, Arturo Perez, we do 1.18. I decided to assign it last minute because we had so much time left over. So please do all of the activities in the sections, and then all of the training exercises, and then the labs before Tuesday. So if no one has any other questions, I suppose we can wrap up this meeting now. Okay, awesome. Thanks for coming, guys. Yes, 1.19 is left out, Mr. Salomon Toki, because I was playing around with the tools that ZyBooks gave to me, and I cloned this lab just as an experiment. But no, you were not doing 1.19. But anyways, if everyone is good, we can wrap up this meeting. So thank you all for coming. I'll post this video on Blackboard, and then the rest of you have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, stop sharing.